Apple is a company that is now, under a lot of pressure today because you've got the Justice Department and 15 states coming forward and suing Apple for antitrust issues. And, look, I mean, there may be something there. I mean, Apple is quite the monopoly, if you ask me, because, well, it's pretty much what I use. I do have a Android phone as well, but Apple is, at least for me anyway, my priority and what I use, and they kind of keep you in their ecosystem. It's more complicated if you're a business and you have an app because they take a nice healthy percentage of your fees, and that's become an issue. It became an issue with Epic Games, and Epic Games lost that lawsuit, but the lawsuit continued at the government level. Now, cynics would say, hey, you know what? This is just the Biden administration trying to flex itself and position itself so that it has companies doing its bidding ahead of the election. But those of us who actually think that maybe Apple is getting a little too big for its own good might say there is some there. We'll see how this all plays out. But shares of Apple traded down a little bit as a result of that news. And here's a story that was in the Wall Street Journal today. And as I tweeted out, I said, look, this is huge. This is big. U.S. is suing Apple, and it's alleging that the tech giant exploits illegal monopoly. Justice Department says company makes it difficult for competitors to integrate with iPhone. So in other words, if you are an Epic Games subscriber and you want to move your game platform outside of the Apple ecosystem, it becomes really challenging to do so. What ultimately, in that particular case, the court decided was that Epic Games wasn't actually sort of threatened enough by Apple, that it still had other places to go because the gaming market is what it is, and a lot of people are on Androids for gaming. But in other sectors, it's kind of like Apple or nothing. And so what will certainly be interesting to see is how this all gets decided. I mean, and look, you know what? Apple is a big deal stock. It's part of the S&P. It's a big deal stock, and a lot of people are holding it. So it's never ideal when shares of Apple are trading lower, and they did trade a bit lower today as a result of this issue. But nonetheless, the market overall, I think, closed up quite nicely. Let me give you some of those numbers. Yeah, with the Dow closing up 0.7%, S&P, even though Apple was getting hit, Apple trading down. Let me see if I can give you those exact numbers. The S&P 500 still traded up. So we're looking at new highs there, which is just incredible. Apple trading down 4% on the day at $171.37. And it's because of this. The U.S. Justice Department is suing Apple and alleging that this is a monopoly and it's exploiting its monopoly, making it very, very difficult for applications to be integrated, and they take a really hefty percentage. I think some 30% of those app fees. So if you have a product and you have an app that you've developed and you want to put it on the Apple platform, well, great. Apple's like, thank you very much. That's a nice little tax. I'll take my 30%. And the 30% might be a little bit egregious, but there's really nowhere else to go because it has a hold. These are the allegations that are coming forward on that ecosystem, and they don't make it easy for you to move off of it. So watch that one, you guys. Hey, you know what? For some people, this might be a buying opportunity for Apple. I remember when I was first starting in business news, one of the first stories I did was the Microsoft breakup, because the government was ordering a breakup of Microsoft. And it was my first day on the air. I got pulled out of HR at Bloomberg Television back in the year 2000. And they were like, you got to go on air with this, 4:00, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait a second, I have my glasses and I don't have the right clothes and this and that and the other. But anyway, I did all my reporting and talked to some very good sources and got that story down. It turned out that the government actually never followed through with that, and Microsoft didn't get broken up. But that was their intention because they said it was a monopoly. So this is a huge story. Watch it very, very, very carefully.